Are you looking for a fun way to win up to 25 times your money this football and basketball season? Test your skills on Prize Picks, the most exciting way to play daily fantasy sports. Just select two or more players, pick more or less on their projections for a wide variety of stats, and place your entry. It's as easy as that. If you have the skills, you can turn $10 into $250 with just a few taps. Easy gameplay, quick withdrawals, and injury insurance on your picks are what makes Prize Picks the #1 daily fantasy sports app. Ready to test your skills? Join the PrizePicks community of more than 7 million players who have already signed up. Right now, PrizePicks will match your first deposit up to $100. Just visit prizepicks.com/bluewire and use code BLUEWIRE. That's code BLUEWIRE at prizepicks.com/bluewire for a first deposit match of up to $100. PrizePicks, daily fantasy sports made easy.
Today's episode is brought to you by Cars.com. With over 2 million vehicles and 50,000 more added every day, Cars.com will match you with the perfect car for you, your budget, your life, your style. And if you're ready to say goodbye to your current car, Cars.com will get you an instant offer to cash it in. Just start by entering your license plate and get matched with a local dealer who will write you the check. So whether you're looking to buy or sell, just go to Cars.com. It's magical.
Good morning, friends. Welcome to Moneyball Minute. My name is Kirk Henderson, and I'm editor-in-chief of MavsMoneyball.com. I apologize for my somewhat lax posting schedule compared to what I have done for the past several months, but honestly, it's the off-season. We will rev back up, try to this week for as much stuff as there is going on, but as we inch closer to the draft, we're still just sort of in a patient wait-and-see mode. That aside, let's just get right to it. There's a couple of things that are up on Mavs Moneyball right this moment, or at least one is. The case for Rudy Gobert, the case against Rudy Gobert, written by my guy Matt Phillips, was a really detailed piece as to why he does not think Rudy Gobert is the answer in any way, shape, or form. I know for a fact, because I worked through it with him on the editing, that he approached this from the point of view of, hey, let's see what could happen. And then the more he dove into it, the more it was like, this is just not a good idea. Second, we're really actually getting into more specific draft coverage this week. Lucas Q has a piece, depending on when you're listening to this, it may or may not be up yet, but it is an analysis of Duke center Mark Williams. Now, Mark Williams is not projected to be anywhere near 26, so it would require a trade up in some form, but he wanted to write about Mark Williams. And the thing I like about our draft coverage, and really just this time of year, is you can sort of talk about whoever you want as long as you preface it with, the fact that it might be kind of hard to do. So check out those things as far as immediate articles. Then, just to talk news real quick, it was reported by, I want to say, was it Frank Isola? It was someone up in New York. It was, let me see, it was New York Post story by Mark Berman. Got my New York guys confused. The Mavericks are probably not interested in pursuing Mitchell Robinson. Now, that could obviously change, but for those of you who are really into Mitchell Robinson, it's good to note, and something that was worth paying attention to. There was another piece of news last week that we didn't really touch on at MavsMoneyball.com, but I thought was at least worth circling back to. It's that there's starting to be like growing kind of source, like unnamed source rumors that some Suns staff and then at least one player tested positive for COVID during before Game 7. Now, I'm gonna be honest, I don't really deal in news very often. I get told a lot of stuff, but there's not a lot of value in me reporting it. And because I don't really think it matters, I started to hear after Game 5 that certain Suns had tested positive for COVID. I don't really care. This was sort of one of these things that a lot of fans got really upset about, but it's no different than having, at this point in time, I don't mean to make anybody upset about COVID, but as far as I'm concerned, I look at it the same as an ankle sprain or the flu or something else that potentially impacts a guy's playing, ability to play. At this point in the year, everybody in basketball is dinged up. So it just sort of is what it is. But that's that main story. Then there were some fun things at Mavs Moneyball. Oh, yeah, there's one more piece of news. So Sean Sweeney is interviewing for the Utah Jazz head coaching position, but so is former Maverick Jason Terry. The Jazz are interviewing lots and lots of people. I know the Sweeney news broken by Adrian Wojnarowski sent to really upset people. I mean, I get it, but it sort of is what it is. It's something that is out there, and then I would just not really, worry about it too much until we hear more news. There's a couple of more fun things at Mavs Moneyball that I think are worth paying attention to. The first is our guy Lucas Gue did a review of the Netflix movie Hustle, which has a remarkable number of Dallas Mavericks cameos. And I watched this movie. It's fantastic, and it's really fun. So if you're looking for a great way to spend 2 hours, I just can't recommend it enough. And then go read the review. On Sunday, our guy Clint Carroll, who doesn't write too much for us because I think he sometimes gets a little nervous about his basketball knowledge. I loved this post. It was fun. It's the ideal off-season content. He pulled our staff like a month ago, just sort of jokingly, and he went person by person and said, give me your top 5 most handsome Dallas Mavericks players, and then actually put it together in a post. And it, on Sunday, it had a lot of people talking on Twitter and on social media. It's just like one of those silly fun things that I enjoy about the off season. And then, to sort of close us out, our guy Scott, CBAMavs, put together last week a really big, it was Friday, he put together a really big explainer of the Jalen Brunson sign and trade scenarios. He and I did a podcast, which you have hopefully listened to by now, where he took a lot of questions and explained some things that's going on with what the Mavericks can and can't do, at least according to the structure of the CBA. I really recommend you check that out. That was a lot of fun. And then trying to think, there's one more fun piece over at DallasBasketball.com. It was the pros and cons of a Christian Wood trade, because a lot of Mavericks, including our guy Xavier Santos, are really sort of clamoring for the Mavericks to go get Wood because he is a talented, but just put it like this: the basketball fit is very good, but the vibes fit is very tough. But this piece by Grant, I'm gonna butcher Grant's last name. I've heard it a dozen times, but I always do this with names. Grant Afseth wrote, it's a really great way to spend a huge chunk of your day if you would like to read up about Christian Wood. So I'm going to end with that one, and that's sort of where we are. I'm going to try to record with Josh Bowe at some point. He and I just keep missing each other. Real life is happening. We put off a lot of stuff for a real long time during the tail end of the regular season between wives and kids and stuff, and now we're just, you guys understand, I hope. We'll rev stuff back up. Okay, this has been Kirk Henderson at Mavs Moneyball with Moneyball Minute. Thank you so much for your time, and I hope you have a great week, and we will be back with more stuff as we can.